Welcome to an exhilarating journey into the heart of a winter adventure. Over the next 13 episodes, we invite you to join us as we embark on an exciting endeavor, building the ultimate winter snowmobile camper. Get ready to witness the fusion of innovation, craftsmanship, and wilderness exploration as we guide you through each step of this exhilarating process. From creating the perfect frame to crafting this custom accommodation, we'll be your trusted companions in transforming your next snowmobile trip into a cozy retreat on the snow-covered trails. Whether you're a seasoned outdoors enthusiast or a newcomer to the thrill of winter travel, our comprehensive step-by-step instructions will empower you to create your own winter wonderland on skis. Join us as we tackle challenges head-on, share expert tips and tricks, and celebrate the triumphs of each milestone reached. From installation and heating solutions to storage optimization and interior design, no detail will be overlooked in our quest to create the ultimate snowmobile camper. So gather your tools and your sense of adventure, prepare to make memories that will last a lifetime. This winter, let's venture into the great outdoors together and discover the magic of a DIY snowmobile camper built with passion and ingenuity. Stay tuned for the ride of a lifetime. Started off with a 2-inch piece of steel. I cleaned it up. I made some brackets. I welded them on beautiful. I fitted onto the frame. I got it all bolted in. It was looking beautiful. It was just perfect. And then I realized where I went wrong. Good evening, guys. Just wanted to give you an update. I made a big boo-boo. This was the hitch that I had bolted onto the trailer at the front of the trailer over there, this way, and the tow bar fit into it, and it articulated. Now it articulates on the front of the sled, and this articulates, but I also have the feet on the skis also articulate. So it dawned on me yesterday while I was sitting at that the actual camper, if it wasn't balanced right, could just tip that nose down. There was nothing holding it. So this needs to be fixed solid and then articulate from the sled. So if the sled goes up and down, this can move, and then as this moves, the skis will move up and down, and this will move up and down with it and move the articulation on the sled. So I have to rethink this. So I come up with an idea. I'm going to make a mono strut with a shock in the center that'll give a little bit of a spring forward or back as you're starting or stopping. So I'm going to show you guys how to do that. So we'll correct this mistake, but not waste it, because I'm going to connect this to the back of the sled, or the back of the camper, and that way if I want to take my sled with me to throw a little bit of extra gear in the back, I can just connect it to this real quick, and then I can take that along. So it's not wasted, thankfully, but it set me back a little bit. Today I was supposed to start on the camper, but I'll have to wait a couple days because I need to get that squared away before I move on. Anyway, there's an update on that, and I'll show you guys how I make this tonight, and we'll put it together, get it on there. Hey guys, Scott from Realistic Outdoors. I would really like to thank Cutter Creek Outdoors, who is the sponsor of this episode and this entire series. If you get a chance, head down to Cutter Creek Outdoors and check out all the amazing stuff they have there so that your outdoors is a lot more fun. Okay, I just start by getting 2 pieces of the 2-inch square tubing cleaned up, because it's more pieces of the recycled stuff that I've been using. And there she is, all cleaned up, nice and shiny. Then I just squared it up on one piece and used my magnets to make it nice and square, and then I welded it on. Then I built and cut 2 pieces of bracing, which I also used my magnets to keep, which gave me automatic 45, which is lovely. There she is. So that's going to mount on the sled, and then it's going to slide into this tube. It's an aluminum tube that has the shock absorber into it, so it's going to slide into there, and that'll be my quick connect. I guess, in a sense. I'm gonna put some spacers on that just so it's not so dingle dangly. I'll have to weld a couple plates onto that, but that's the new one so far. Okay, well, that's all the shop time I have for tonight. But so what I did was I built this piece and then I welded on, well, I just tacked on 4 or 8 tabs so that it wouldn't wiggle inside, because when it was in there it was like that. So now when I put it in there, there's no wiggle. So now I can just drill 2 holes, put pins in there, and that'll be the quick connect for the trailer. Not that it needs a quick connect, but just in case you need a little extra space in the shop or in the back of your truck. I mean, it's going to save you 18 inches anyway. So anyway, that's it for tonight. And now, as per usual, I use the wax remover degreaser to clean up my steel before I give it a coat of primer. So I'm just going to clean this up as best I can, and then I'm going to give it a shot of primer and hopefully get it painted tonight. If you're enjoying this video, go ahead right now and smash that subscribe button and go up and give a click to that bell and make sure you're notified when the next videos come out. Okay, all the pieces are painted up. I'm going to hang these to dry. We've got a little bit of sunshine outside. Let them dry for a couple hours, and then bring them back in and let them dry as long as I can. Okay, you've seen all the pieces. Let's talk about them. So I have the main body here. It's made out of aluminum. I have 2 super strong springs. I have a spring retainer, which is a small piece of EMT. I have a spring base, which I made, and I'll explain in a bit. And the shaft, which is made out of 3/4 inch grade 8 steel. Let's talk about the spring base. I just took a piece of 1.5 inch tube. I welded 2 pieces on top of them to seal them off, and then I drilled holes in them to fit the EMT. And then on 4 sides, or on the 2 sides, I just drilled and tapped 9/16 bolts. And then I had to cut them pretty short so that when they were through the main body and through my spacer and the washers, they wouldn't penetrate into the EMT, because that spring retainer needs to be able to move back and forth. Now I'm going to show you how I put it together, and you'll see exactly how this thing works. It's pretty slick actually, and it's adjustable if you want it to be as well. Okay, so I'm going to run the piece of EMT inside the spring body. Oops, a little bit off camera here. So you see that it moves freely inside there. I have the shaft and 2 washers. Now one of these washers is squared and one is round. So I want to put the round one on first, and then a spring on both sides of my spring retainer, and then slide that whole piece onto my ready rod. Then put the square washer. Well, it's a round washer with squared edges. It has to be able to fit inside the main tube. And then I'm going to add this nut onto it. Then I will compress the springs so that it's fully compressed against the spring retainer. And there we go. Once that's nice and tight against the spring retainer, now it keeps the springs in actual position and they won't bend or fold or anything. Now I just insert the whole thing with the square washer going in first, which I had to kind of adjust. And then I'm just going to put these spacers in to keep it from being dingle-dangly, as we learned earlier in this segment. And just put the other one on, and then I'm going to squeeze them in as best I can without having to use grip or bang it with a hammer. And I'm just going to force it in here a little bit. A little grunting. And there she is. Little pop. And then I just use a small... I'm not sure what I used here. Just a skinnier bolt, screw eye or something to help line up the holes and the spacers, because you can see they're slightly off here. So I'm just using that to move the spacer around. Then I just want to make sure all these 9/16 bolts are put in here. And that's it. Once these are in, I just have to tighten them up good. And I mean quite snug too. I'm not using any Loctite on this, which I probably should, now that I'm thinking about it. Thanks for reminding me. I think I will go back and put some on there. I'm glad you guys are here reminding me of this stuff. So anyway, I just crank this down. And you don't want to super over tighten it, but it needs to be quite tight. You don't want the spring body to be moving. That's kind of the main key to this device. I've seen similar stuff on the internet, but this one here was kind of a quick brainchild. And there we go. Now she's tightened down. Okay, now I'm just going to put this in place and I'll show you how it works. So there it is with a quick pin into my camper. And there it is in place, close up, extreme close up. And here it is as me pushing and pulling on it. There's a pull action, so you get the spring from the inside, and if you slam on the brakes, it gives you a spring on the outside. Pretty slick. Well guys, thanks for hanging around that long. A few of the first episodes are just a little tedious to get ready, but we overcame that boo-boo with the tow bar, which was lucky that I even thought about it. I could have solved it by keeping the skis solid, but I really want them to be able to move up and down over the ice and stuff. But the monoshock was pretty cool, and it was reasonably easy to build. So anyway, we're really close. I believe the next episode we're moving right into the actual build part itself. So thanks for hanging out this long. I'm Scott from Realistic Outdoors, and don't forget to maybe check out Cutter Creek. Anyway, tight lines. I'll see you on the next episode.